Good afternoon and welcome back to Allergic to Stupidity. We have some sun going on down here in southern Ontario, and I just spent several hours with one of my kids to celebrate her birthday tomorrow and had a delightful time. Today's comments or discussions are please appreciate our immigrants, especially our farm workers in the wherever you are in Canada. Those farmer workers do work that you and I would not want to do. And it by not having them come up and leave their family and leave their country and leave their culture, we would not have the food that's on our tables. All right? And please understand that the work they do is not easy. It's hard. It's here in Canada, in southern Ontario, we're talking it's 35 degrees in the temperature in the summertime. They're out in the fields all day. It's back-breaking work because they're leaning over all the time. It's not easy. I've got a farm around the corner that I was going to one of my clients, and the farm workers are out there at this time of year, like it's only middle of June, and they're hoeing through the cabbage to keep the weeds out, right? They're out watering the potatoes. They're out doing. These guys are out in that sun from as soon as they can get up in the morning till the last thing at night to make sure you and I have our food on our table. And so we need to appreciate these guys because you and I aren't going to want to do it. Two of my kids did it as teenage jobs. One of them lasted about 2 weeks and then went on a holiday and went like just a weekend with her boyfriend. And when she came back, her job wasn't there anymore. The other one lasted one day. It was like literally around the corner. He could bike there. I dropped him off. At the end of the day, he said, forget it, Mom. Never again. I said, I'll go work at Tim Hortons. He said, because his job that day, it was his first day, is just to go down underneath the orchards and pick up all the apples that have fallen, which would then be sold for farm animal food. One of the local farmers would take the dropped apples for the animals. He said that was absolutely gross. That was hard work. Didn't think of it, right? Meow meow is little Miss Diva. And he said never do it again. Like he literally, yeah, he said there was always liquid, but he said that was 8 hours of constant back-breaking work. He said that's not as easy as it looks. So please appreciate our farm workers, those guys that we're bringing up. And I've done census, so I know that when I've gone to the farms, they'll go, okay, I've got a long form. Where am I putting my farm workers? And I'll go, okay, such and such a page. Okay? We're just counting heads, honey, and we just want to know how many people are in Canada and how many are farm workers versus, and I said, that's fine. But he makes sure he dots his I's and crosses his T's, and he's got T's and got all of that. And if you happen to see a tail, it's Missy. And he does everything by the book, which means he starts out by advertising locally for farm workers willing to come to his farm. He does it on the radio. He does it on the newspaper. He does it on social media, etc. So he's doing everything he's supposed to do. So he's not taking, when he gets the farm workers up from Mexico, he's not taking jobs away from us, our Canadian kids, at all, or Canadian adults. He has already gone out to these people and asked them, do you want the job? The jobs are here if you want them, right? So they've done what they have to, because otherwise they're in royal trouble with the government, because they have to apply through certain things to get these farm workers up from Mexico. And some of our local farm workers, they're regulars. I see them every summer. They're back up. They go down to Mexico or wherever for the off season, and then they come back up here for 4 or 5 months, and they're treated well. They got no problems with that. But it's because nobody around here wants to do the job because it is god awful. It's hard labor. So that connects with dear old Donald Trump, who's down in the U.S., and he is literally sending ICE in to places to raid them to get rid of busloads and busloads and busloads of immigrants who have come up from Mexico or wherever to do the farm work. The farmers are now complaining because they've got nobody willing to go in and harvest, whether it's your asparagus, your tomatoes, your strawberries, your grapes, your peaches, whatever, or oranges in Florida, because nobody is going to come up to be deported, because once you're being deported, there's no coming back, right? Like whatever country has the restrictions, if you've been deported, you can't come back for however long. And journalists have said, well, why don't you hire Americans? And they've got the same deal in the US as we have in Canada. You have to advertise. You have to show that you've advertised. You have to go through the bells and whistles. You have to, do A, B, C, and D. You have to say how many foreign workers you're bringing in and why you're bringing them in, which then allows in the United States ICE to walk in and say, you've got 25 foreign workers. We want them. But now there's nobody to harvest the food. So your American food, fruits and vegetables, if they're going to make it to Canada, are going to be more expensive because there's going to be less of it. So there's all these protests in the US, in California specifically, saying, you got to stop this. We need these people. And the farmers they've interviewed in the United States has said exactly what I'm saying. No American wants this job because it is a hard labor. You are bent over all day. You are up in the minute the sun rises and you're in the fields until the sun sets. There is no days. There's no time off. You get Saturday and Sunday off because Mother Nature doesn't stop on Saturday and Sunday and things still ripen. So these guys come up from wherever, I'm just going to keep saying Mexico, to come up to make as much money as they possibly can to ship it back to their families back home. Yeah, don't knock the tablet off. Yeah. So their families can survive. But he's now sending them all back. There's nobody to take care of the farms. There's nobody to harvest the farms. And while some people will say you can get the big machinery in, and on some of these, like we've seen them here in Canada, with big machineries come in and they wrap around the bottom of, say, an apple tree and they shake the apple tree to make the apples fall off. They can do that with some of the oranges. But some things have to be picked by hand. I would not want a machine picking my strawberries. Thank you very much. Or my blueberries. Cranberries, yes, they go in and they literally put a sheet under it and they just shake the bushes and the cranberries fall off, but they're like falling like little, not very far. So there's some things can be machined, but not everything. So you can understand why these farmers are protesting. They now have nobody to harvest their food. And that means their food is going to rot in the fields. And that means the prices on our groceries are going to go up because he doesn't want the immigrants there. And one of the articles I listened to, and when Trump first said this like a year ago, I was like, very strange, because he said, we got to get rid of the immigrants because they're taking all the black jobs. And I, being me, went, black job? What the hell's a black job? Purple job, green? Didn't clue in until this guy made the clickbait title, and I went, oh shit. What it is that Trump is implying that farm labor is a black person's job. Are you crazy or insane? Like, literally. That one just, and when he said that, when this interviewer said this, or this YouTuber said this, it all clicked. And yes, we know he's bigoted. We know he's a racist. And that comment about the immigrants taking the black jobs just put two and two together. Okay, so please appreciate your farm workers here in Canada and the United States, because they are doing a back-breaking manual labor job that is not as lovely as you think it is. I'm going to spend the day outside in the sun. Well, that's me and my gardening, because I can come inside and get a drink whenever I want. This is not the same. It is not an easy job. Same thing. Please appreciate your farmers, because they're doing a phenomenal job and they're keeping us fed. And this is an LOL, allergic to stupidity. My tenant came in my house the other day and went, I got one for you, Bev. And I went, okay, what? Some of the airports in the United States have decided to not allow your Costco membership to be a form of ID anymore. I literally was on the couch working on something for Trig Identities for my students, and I was literally speechless. And I just looked and went, what? And he went, knew you were going to say that. Costco ID? Like, no? What? Yeah. There you go. There's your smile for the day. You can no longer use your Costco membership as ID in an American airport. You've never been allowed to use it in Canada. Take care, guys. Have a smile and enjoy the weather.